Good morning, I'm Jess Tandler with Tandler Creek Farm. Welcome back. We're going to do another hive inspection video today. So, like I said in our last hive inspection video, I always come down here with a goal. We're going to refill their feeder. This is a little wax wrap that I made. I like to cover this pitcher of sugar syrup just so that people or the bees don't go crazy and jump in here and drown and do all this stuff. So I keep it covered until I'm ready to fill it. But I'm gonna fill it last because the feeder is actually the top layer. So I'll take it off empty and then put it back on empty and then fill it up. And another thing I'm looking for today, if you watched the last hive video, you know that we had a queen cell in the middle of the frame, which meant that it was a superseder cell. This was not a swarm cell. They have plenty of room. We're gonna make sure they still have room. If I need to add another box on top, I will. Make sure they're not using more than 70% of their frame space in there. See how the queen cell's doing, if it's capped or not, and see if we can find the queen, if she's laying any eggs. But because I haven't seen very many eggs, I've seen larvae, but not really any eggs at all. I think that the purpose of them building this new queen cell and raising a new queen is because the queen that they have currently is weak, or she's old, or something like that, and they want to replace her. That's why I didn't squish the queen cell last time, because if they need a new queen, that must be why they're making it, particularly in the middle of the cell. So we'll check that out today. Hive looks good, the bees are calm. It's nice and cool out, but not too cold. You don't want to open your hive when it's too cold, because then your little baby bees is gonna get chilly. So I am going to go ahead and get some smoke going to calm everybody down, and we'll take it from there. So the nectar flow, like I said, has been pretty abysmal so far. We had a very dry April. We did get some rain finally, so that helped a little bit, but I came out here yesterday and checked their feeder and it was still empty. So they're starting to do some good work on this frame. You can see they're now getting both sides worked on. So that's an indication that we might be ready for another box. And I don't have the other box with me right now to put on, but that's something that's very, very simple for me to come down and do after the fact. I kind of just wanted to get out here, and so this is another one of just kind of food. They've drawn it up nicely and they're kind of starting to fill it with some of that sugar syrup. I don't see a queen on here, but there's not really much room for her to be laying, so I wouldn't expect her to be here. Decent amount of caproot, decent amount of larvae. Oh, a spider. Get out of here. Friggin' daddy long leg. I don't see a queen. I see some drone cells at the bottom, but not too many. So I learned that worker bees, if they start laying eggs, it's a problem. And because they have not mated, because they're not queens, worker bees will lay drone cells. So when you look for a high number of drone cells, the reason why that matters is because a high number of drone cells would indicate that your worker bees are laying. I watched a video that said, like, when you're looking for the queen, you should look for like 5 seconds. You should break the frame up into thirds and glance at each section of the frame that you've mentally broken up for 1 to 2 seconds each, and then move on. And I was skeptical of that at first, but it really does work. And what's also really interesting is I don't see that queen cell that I saw last time, but I still have one more frame to go. So heavy. Oh my goodness. Yep, so there's the queen cell there. See if you can spot that queen cell in the middle. It is not capped yet, but it is definitely getting bigger. It's actually empty. So there was a larva in it last time I looked at it, but now there is not. And now I see another empty queen cell on the bottom. Now, the empty queen cell on the bottom of the frame is an indication that they're getting ready to swarm, or that they're thinking about it. But, you know, that's not surprising, because we did say, you know, that the hive is starting to look much fuller than it did last time. So they know they're running out of room and they're looking for a solution, and they're not going to wait for me to give them one. So I definitely want to get to work giving them some more space. And now I'm just kind of looking for the queen. I don't see her over here on this one. Oh, there she is. Let me see if I can I'm gonna keep my eye on her. All right. So, how I find her is like, she's like on a mission and she's like charging through, sorry, please excuse me. But you know, she kind of charges through the worker bees. They stay out of her way. She's got that really long abdomen that's pointy at the end. So I just want to watch her for a bit and kind of see what she's doing. That's 2 inspections in a row that we found the queen. I'm really thrilled. See, she just plows right through them. Like, get out of my way. Oh my gosh, there's literally a bee hatching right now. Oh my gosh, that's so crazy. Lots of bees hatching. So that's a good sign. But we'll put it back. I don't want to terrorize them any more than I already have. So these nitrile gloves, I've worn them for my last 2 hive inspections. They work very well. They do get a little bit sticky though. All right, and then all I'm gonna do on this last frame is just see if I can see any eggs. I really can't. I don't know if it's because I'm in the shade over here and they're just like super hard to spot or what. But it is tough, I tell you. Oh, there's an egg. Ha ha ha! Finally. Remarkable. Well, yeah, I don't know what happened to that larva in that queen cell. I don't know if the queen came by and saw it and said, "Not today, suckers," and ate her, or what the heck happened, because it definitely hasn't been enough time for that queen cell to have been closed up, grow, and then hatch. Because I was out here, you know, maybe 3-4 days ago. So that wouldn't make sense to me. And then there's nothing in those queen cells, not even the one I saw on the bottom of the frame. So I think what I'm gonna do is just kind of give it a beat and, you know, come back out. Get out of here. I don't want you to drown. So we have some drowned bees, and that's really unfortunate, but that is part of the risk with a top feeder, is you're gonna have drowned bees. Some of the benefits of a top feeder, and if you have like a lot, like not 20, but like hundreds of drowned bees, then you know that something's wrong with your feeder to where like the bees can't access it without drowning. But, so that's the one drawback. And then it could leak, I guess, and really mess up your hive. But if you buy a quality top feeder, you're not gonna have that issue. Your other option is like a frame feeder. The feeders that are like the mason jar outside the hive do not work great. So I've never even considered that, but the frame feeders are nice, but you know, you're taking up space inside of the hive where they should be laying eggs and storing honey and doing all those things. You're taking up that space with a feeder, which isn't great. And in order to fill it up, you've got to crack open the whole hive. In order to check on it, you have to crack open the whole hive. With this top feeder, I just lift the back and I can see when it's empty, and I know, okay, in the next day or 2, I need to get out there and give them some more sugar syrup. A couple other different methods of the top feeders that I have heard work well is if you're checking on your feeder every day. If it takes 5 days for the bees to get through the sugar syrup, wait 5 days before you fill it up. Because they are storing that, so it kind of allows them to go through some of their own reserves, and then, you know, then you can fill them up again. And then I have also heard, what's the other thing I heard about these? Golly, oh, 2 to 1. I've heard that, you know, 2 to 1 sugar syrup works well. So I'm using, or sorry, 1 to 2. So 1 part sugar, 2 parts water. I'm using 1 to 1 right now because I know that we're really struggling to have enough nectar. And so I want them to have as much food sources as possible. And I'm really not worried about them staying hydrated because we live right next to a river. So I know that they can find water. But anyway, so that is our second hive inspection together on the Tandler's Creek Farm YouTube channel. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. If this was helpful, please like it, subscribe it, and let me know in the comments that it was helpful. And if there was anything I breezed over or anything that you think I should cover as part of my first year of beekeeping journey, again, let me know in the comments. Hit the bell so you don't miss any new episodes, and I will see you guys on the next one.